I'm listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
Have you ever went over a friend's house to eat and the food just ain't no good?
Are you a small business owner in Seattle who was impacted by COVID-19? The Seattle Office of Economic Development is investing $8 million to connect small businesses to operating capital. The Small Business Capital Access Program will lower the cost of Washington State Small Business Flex Fund loans by paying down 25% of the loan principal. Eligible small businesses can borrow up to $150,000 with a 4% interest rate to cover expenses like payroll, rent, utilities, and supplies.
Women Empowerment Talk Radio, your roadmap to business success. Tune in every Sunday at 3 p.m. on Rainier Avenue Radio.world, providing resources and sharing motivational experiences from the everyday entrepreneur. Tune in Women Empowerment Talk Radio every Sunday, 3 p.m. on Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
I'm Paul Pearson, host of StarTime, and back in my day, when we wanted to hear the radio, we had to stick a couple of coat hangers on Grandpa's head so his cavity fillings could pick up an AM station. But it's the 21st century now, so whenever I want to hear Rainier Avenue Radio.world, I listen to it on the brand new Rainier Avenue Radio app on my Android or iPhone. Download it for free at the Google Play Store or the iPhone App Store. The Rainier Avenue Radio.world app.
Yo, what's good? It's D-Money, and you should definitely check out Fresh Juice every Wednesday, 9 to 11 Pacific, right on Rainier Avenue Radio.
With pint-sized Patron, P-Treasy the Don, y'all be sure to clean your mirrors as we play brand new hip-hop and R&B from locals and worldwide.
It's ID Yourself, a.k.a. Malcolm Flex. Make sure you check out Fresh Juice every Wednesday, Pacific Standard Time from 9 to 11 p.m.
And to get those exclusive interviews that we be doing.
Sipping a brand new Fresh Juice every single week.
Yeah. Every Wednesday, 9 to 11, Rainier Avenue Radio. Yeah, yeah.
當你扣上安全帶，一啲美好嘅事情就會發生。一切就如同施咗魔法一樣。當你遠離你嘅手機，又或者俾踩單車嘅人留出額外嘅空間，停車等他人先過馬路嘅小小舉動，都係一件幾咁美妙嘅事。就連酒後選擇搭車返屋企，都算係英勇嘅行為，因為所有呢啲小事都能喺保護我哋安全上邊發揮巨大嘅作用。讓我們齊心協力，目標必達。
You know you can't get enough of Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
Welcome to Real Estate Money, a half-hour program on Rainier Avenue Radio.world designed to help you whether you're a buyer, seller, investor, or renter in real estate. Your hosts are two local professionals who will escort you on your journey. Violeta Strash, who has years of media advertising and marketing experience and brings this extensive knowledge to John L. Scott Real Estate and all our clients. And Tina Lombard, who is a mortgage loan originator with guaranteed rate Affinity with over 28 years of experience. And now here's Violeta and Tina.
Hello,
everyone. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. It's been a beautiful day. It is like 95 degrees here in Denver, and we are overcast, but it's still beautiful.
Well, we're finally in the last week or so in the 70s, maybe low 80s, and it's hot for me.
Is it
hot enough? I'm good.
Yes. But interest rates actually came back down just a little bit. The market looks really healthy. Looks really good. So we're still writing contracts and getting people into homes.
Yay! Yes. I know. Yeah, everybody's talking about the change and the interest rates, and buyers are hesitant to get out there. But Tina, tell them.
Hey, listen, it is a healthy market. If you are approved for a loan and you go out there and you find a house, 90% of the time you're going to be able to make an offer on that house, get a great deal, and get a contract signed. And that hasn't happened in years. Usually it takes months to have your offer seen and actually chosen. So this is a really, really good day.
Yeah, and there's no review dates now. Yes. People are looking, buyers submit an offer, and you negotiate it with your agent and the listing agent too. So the seller may take your offer because there's not multiple offers being seen these days.
Exactly. And so, so V, I know you're going to talk about it, but we're seeing now that houses are not going for like 2 or 3 days. Now they're taking maybe up to 10 days. That's a healthy market. That's a really healthy market. I mean, there's competition out there, and sellers are, they're getting a realistic bite of what's going on.
Yeah, it's there's been certainly a market correction. Talk a little bit about that, but it's still a great time. So don't wait.
Don't wait. So you got some updates for us, V?
I do have the market updates. So here we go. For King County, we're looking at 1,045 homes out there for sale. 920, and this is over the last 2 weeks because we haven't seen you guys live in a couple weeks. So 1,045 homes. 920 have been sold in the past couple of weeks at an average price of $1,157,000, and a year ago was $1,132,000. So it's only a 2% change. We were seeing double digits before, so we're getting to more of the realistic pricing, right? And June to June, we're looking at days on the market, 21 days last year to 15 days this year. So it's less than a week, 6 days. And the percent of the list price. So sellers are interested about this. We're still looking at a 6% sale over list price. And that's 2.5% more than last year. And then showings, again, sellers, you want to know this, showings for the listings, 14 days, so 2 weeks. It's going to take 2 weeks to get your house on the market and in the pending category. Pierce County, we're looking at 638 homes for sale and 567 homes were sold in the last couple of weeks, an average price of $628,000. Last year was $592,000 in the same time frame, and that's a 6% increase year to year. Days on the market, 21 days. Last year, 16 days. So this year, that's a difference of 5 days only. And a percent of the list price, it's pretty even, 3% over list price. And then showings per listing, 11 showings, and we're seeing like a downtick on the showings nowadays. It's a little bit less. It's 9 days. That's only 2 days, but we're seeing more and more of that. So again, buyers, get out there, take a look at these homes and make an offer. Seller might be interested in taking these offers. And last but not least, we've got Snohomish County with 494 homes active out there. 432 or so in the last couple of weeks, and at an average price of $852,000. Last year was $804,000. That's 6% difference right there. Days on the market, 18 versus 13 this year, so that's 5 days. Percent of list price, 4% last year, 5.5% this year. So there's a difference of 1.5% year to year. And then last but not least, again, showings per listing, 15 last year. Now it's down 3 to 12 days. All right. So there you have it. It's a market update for the last 2 weeks.
Great. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on with mortgages. And so, Daniel, I sent you a little clip of the mortgages so you can kind of see what's going on. And let me see here. Now that clip is telling you, and it's very strong, mortgage rates edge back down, more volatility looms. So what's going on is rates are going down a little bit. Now you see their 30-year fix shows 5.77%. Now, if you remember the last couple of weeks, it went as high as like 6.125 or 6.375. Now it's coming back down. If you look at that graph right there, that's green, the great big glob of green, it shows how, it's been going up, it's been going down, blah, 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 very volatile. So the trend actually is for it to be going up, and it's coming back down just a little bit, but we're seeing it go up, keep continuing to go up. what's going on is when those rates have been hitting 6% in the last couple of weeks, people have just been backing off and saying, listen, I ain't doing this right now. I'm not doing it. And because of that, mortgage lenders and everybody are lowering the rates because, they need business in the door. What now is happening, if you see you've got the 15-year, you got the 20-year, the 30-year, you see the rates are right there in the fives. Of course, you got a 30-year jumbo, 4.82, and that's a whole different animal. But conglomerately, the rates are in the upper fives to the 6%. So we can go ahead and turn that off now, Daniel. Thank you so much for showing that. So what I have experienced in my last 29 years of doing mortgages, that 5%, 5.5%, even I dare say 6% is a very healthy market. Yeah. When rates are any lower than that, people start making these exuberant offers on houses, and that's when the housing goes up, 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 and that's when prices start getting out of hand, and the average person in a certain area cannot afford. When the rates are in the 5.5, somewhere around there, it's a very healthy market where people can actually afford the properties, and the properties are not going up exponentially as we have seen in the last 2 years. So even if the rate's at 5.77, that is a very good rate. I had my loan for 18 years, 6.75 as a mortgage loan officer, and I was very happy at that. So go ahead and not worry about anything. The rates are what they are. The houses are still appreciating. There's still a lot of inventory out there. So this is a very good chance to actually make an offer on a home, regardless of the rate, still have appreciation, and actually get to your dream home right now. So that's what I got. So we can go ahead and bring Violeta back on.
Yeah, we have a few minutes before the break, but I wanted to ask you, Tina, what about loan programs that are out there for people who are still kind of hesitant, but yet want to get into the market? Can you buy, a 2-to-1 kind of, what do you call that?
A buy down, 2-1 buy down?
Yeah, buy down. Yeah.
I mean, yes. So what V is referring to is that, you buy the rate down by 2 points, and the next year it raises, That makes life a lot easier as far as your payments are concerned. That kind of makes sense, but I haven't done a 2-1 buy down in maybe about 5, maybe even 10 years, venture I say. But it's because the rates have been so low, it hasn't made any sense, Yeah. When the rates are 3%, what you're going to buy it down to? When the rates are 4%, what you're going to buy it down to? So we're entering a market where Violeta, what she's talking about, is going to become more prevalent. When the rates go into the 6% and they go into the 7%, it makes sense to do a 2-1 buy down where you actually buy the rate down considerably for the first 2 years. And
because for instance, because if you had like a car loan and in 2 years or next year, you're going to pay it off. Why not go to a 3% loan the first year, right? Buy down to 3% now. And then next year you go to 4.5 or 4, let's say. And then the year after that, it's a 2-year program, right? And then at 5, it'll go up to 5% and they'll stay about 5% or whatever the rate is. And then what you need to do is simply refinance. When you're seeing those rates go down, you're in a better position once you pay off a bunch of these loans in the next year or two.
So actually right now, this market, the difference between like a 5% and a 6% or 6% or 5 or a 4 is not too much. But when we start getting to 7 and 8%, that 2-1 buy down becomes more prevalent. So right now, people are, mortgage lenders are trying to prep their realtors for a 2-1 buy down. And I've heard that in the last month or so. Yeah. But the thing is, why not just get a 3-1 arm? Why not just get a 3-1 arm now? Why not just get a 3-1 arm? And that's like an adjustable rate that's adjustable for the first 3 years. Then it goes every year. It can go up. So, what we're trying to say here, what Violeta's trying to say here, there are other ways to get around that, a higher mortgage payment. If you're scared that the rate is 6% and, oh my gosh, what is the payment going to be? There are ways to break that payment down. You don't have to just do a 30-year fixed. There are 2-1 buy downs. There are 3-1 arms, 5-1 arms, 10-1 arms. So talk to your mortgage lender because it's not the 6.5% 30-year mortgage is what your payment's going to be. That's not the only option. And V, right now, I just priced a VA loan. It's a $800,000 loan. VA is 5%, 100% financing on a VA loan if you're a vet. And on that same high price loan, if it was conventional, it would have been at 7%. mortgage insurance. So vets, if you're out there, your happy interest rates have returned to where the VA interest rates are much lower than conventional. So if you have VA benefits, and realtors, if you have any clients who have VA benefits, their buying power is so much more because their rates are 2 points lower and there's no mortgage insurance. They have a lot more buying power. So that's one of the caveats that's going on right now.
But make sure you talk to Tina. She has all the programs in her hot little hands, and every buyer is different. Every instance, their circumstances are all different. So
they're
better
all
talk
different.
to her before you just buy anything.
Oh yeah. And it's funny because I get some people and they and they say, I've got Tina as a lender, and then there's another lender down the street, and there's somebody who's my cousin's uncle's brother's lender. What's the difference? And they say, was Tina nice? Well, yeah, I'm nice. All lenders are nice. We have to be. It's a commission-based industry. However, what you want to look for is experience.
Yep.
Some people, they've been doing loans for 2 years, 1 year, whatever, which is fine. Everybody's got to start somewhere. But when you have people who've been in the business, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years plus, there is a difference. And we have the choice. Once you get up in experience, we have the choice of being at this company, that company, or this company. So you want to make sure that the lender, really look at the background of the lender, look at their resume. Don't be afraid to ask, are you licensed? Some lenders at banks do not have to be licensed. Did you know that? You can go into a bank, and their mortgage loan officers do not have to be licensed. That doesn't mean to say they're not good people and blah, blah, blah. But people who actually make a living doing this full time, commission only, this is all they do all day long. They're more better at their craft because that's all they do. So make sure that you find out if they're licensed, find out what their company rating is, what their complaints are, what their highlights are. And it's not just interest rates, it's actually getting the loan closed, having the most options, and getting the best programs for the clients.
Okay. With that, we're at our halfway point, and we'll come back to talk to you about some very important community out there.
Tune in to Real Estate and Money every Tuesday afternoon from 2:30 to 3 here on Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Join your hosts, Violeta Strash with John L. Scott Kent North and Tina Lombard with Guaranteed Rate Affinity. They'll help you navigate the waters of our volatile real estate market and offer you some guidance on how to make your hard-earned money work to make your dreams come true. Learn about current trends, get tips on financial matters, and have fun, interactive discussions about your home inside and out. That's Real Estate and Money.
Great.
Okay, welcome back. Now, Tina, tell us about what we need to talk to people out there about a certain community.
Yes. Well, last month we celebrated Gay Pride, and it was Pride Month. And so there were a lot of cities, Seattle, San Francisco, Denver, and we actually celebrated Pride. And this weekend, I'm actually going to San Diego for Pride, the Pride Festival out in San Diego.
Wow.
And, there are a lot of different niches of the market. There's a lot of different groups and demographics of people. And we all have different ways of doing loans, or we're treated differently when we do loans. Now, with Pride celebration last month and then continuing into this month, I thought today we would focus on the LGBTQ community and what that means if you are within that community as far as housing is concerned. Now, me being Filipino, being Black, being a woman, being whatever age group, whatever, there are a lot of opportunities for people to be biased against my loan application, or be biased against me applying for a job, or be biased for me for any reason whatsoever. Now, the housing market, discrimination is very rampant and it's very evident. And in the LGBT community, although the LGBT community may be the highest income group as far as minorities in the United States, as far as the housing department and far housing ratios, their home ownership ratios are extremely low. And that could be because of discrimination. So me as a loan officer, today I'm going to share with you some of my insights as a loan officer, experiencing doing loans for people within that community, and how, if you are within this community, how to make sure that you are treated fairly when you're going to get a loan. So V, do you see a lot of people in your in Seattle that actually have hard time if they're within the LGBT community getting loans, or what do you see?
Not for me, but I know that happens. Mm-hmm. And you as a loan officer, you see a lot more than I would. So tell us about your experience with the LGBTQ community.
Well, it's something because, when I see couples and they're of the same sex, either they're married, in Washington State, you can be married, what have you, or they're not married. They're a domestic partner, what have you. They are treated differently. The application is treated differently. People want to know, are you brother or sister? Are you sister or sister? Are you brother? Are you not married? And they get treated falsely, and they get their applications are not treated correctly. Now, in most states, if you want to take out a loan with your sister, your cousin, the person down the street, your best friend from high school, not a problem. You just get on the loan, boom, you're done. Okay. And a lot of times when people are in the LGBT community, underwriters ask questions they don't need to ask. And they say, well, you can't do that loan. You're not married. That doesn't make any sense at all. Okay. There's things like that go on and that should not be. A lot of times they question how much pay they're getting. They just give them a hard time. Are you married? No, I'm not married. Then why are you together? Just stuff that is just flat out discrimination. Okay. Now, what's so bad about this is, you discourage a lot of people from actually applying for homes or buying houses when you stop them at the door. We cannot do that. Okay. We cannot do that. So I've got a website. Daniel, can you bring that up really quick? And this is something here that I'm going to go over. This is a very good article that's talking about know your rights as a homeowner and a home buyer. Let's go ahead and go through this really quick. Some of the topics that they're touching upon here. First and foremost, how to recognize housing discrimination. Okay. So if you go to a lender and they're not upfront about the mortgage rates, they're hemming and hawing, they're telling you like, we don't do those type of loans. I'm too busy. I can't represent you. If for whatever reason, people are giving you a hard time, stop for a second, go to somebody else. They can't really discriminate against you. They're lying to you and saying, hey, I can't do your loan, but go to several other people and see if you're treated the same way. Okay. So like it says here, if you and your partner have to work hard to get financing compared to male-female couples, doggone well, something is wrong. So recognize that if you're being given the runaround. Okay. Number 2, how to protect yourself from housing discrimination. One of the most important steps to protect yourself through discrimination is to get a LGBTQ friendly realtor. Okay, so there are a lot of groups, organizations out there have somebody who is LGBTQ friendly in the first place. Okay, and they'll make sure it's steering the right direction. Okay, and make sure that they have a mortgage loan officer that's also experienced within working within all communities, and they do not have any biases. So ask that LGBTQ friendly real estate agent to refer a mortgage lender. Once again, mortgage rates are not everything. How you get treated and people who offer you good service is. Okay, next subject here, what do you do if you experience housing discrimination? It says here, speak to an attorney, file a complaint with the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau. Okay, so on and so forth. Now, if your object is to basically buy a house, and if somebody's treating you wrong, just go take your money, take your income, take your commission dollars, just go down the street. You don't need to file a complaint or anything. If it's really blatant and it's really bad, 100% by all means do that. But the object here is basically you to find a house. If you find somebody has got their little proclivity or have their little biases, just move on. Just move on and get yourself to somebody who earns your respect, your money, and your service and their services. Okay, next thing, housing discrimination laws and resources by the state. Okay, so there are plenty of resources on the internet that will talk about housing discrimination by the state and the laws, and make sure that you know your rights before you even look for a home. Okay, this is something that you really want to pay attention to. Your housing is the number one expense that you have in your house. You want to make sure that nobody gets in your way. A mortgage loan officer, a real estate agent, an escrow officer, nobody gets in your way. Nobody discourages you. So you have to fight tooth and nail and get with people, surround yourself with people who are going to help you get from point A to point B. So yeah, we're done with that website, Daniel. Thank you. Thank you. So I think it's very important. I was with the Coldwell Banker booth here at Pride Fest a couple of weeks ago here in Denver, and they had like crazy amounts of people. They had the largest Pride parade they've had in years.
Wow.
Over 100,000 people were there, and we were handing out flyers and stickers and all. It was just an amazing event. A lot of singers, dancers, a lot of talent.
Do you have any photos to show?
I did send to Daniel. I'm sorry, but I'll put it on our website.
Fun. Yeah.
But, oh my gosh, we had so much fun, and such a loving, and it was one of the funnest festivals I've been at.
Wow.
And a lot of people that at this festival are so interested in buying homes, financing, and they're not being serviced. For whatever reason, they've been discouraged. I think we got like 900 leads that day from people wanting to buy homes.
Oh my gosh.
900 at one booth.
Gee.
The overpouring of people that have been underserved in this community. So I would challenge, if you're a realtor in this community, if you're a mortgage lender, that you reach out and you make sure that you service all communities. And I would push, if you are somebody wanting a house, you want fair lending, you want fair treatment, then you go out and find somebody within your community and give them your business and make sure that they represent you. Violeta is one of those people. V, go ahead.
Call me. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Would love to help you out.
And now just I want to be very, very clear. If you are same sex, you're not married, same sex and you are married, it doesn't make a difference. We just need your name, social security number, date of birth, where do you work, how much money do you make, what is your credit like, how much you want to put down, and we need to give you a loan based on that. If they ask you for other further questions, it may be outside the lines of what they need to be asking you. You answer every question on that 1003 home loan application. Every question on that. If there's more questions that make you feel uneasy that they ask you above and beyond what is on that application, then you can stop for a second and readjust and reevaluate and ask if this is necessary. If they ask you things like, have you been divorced before? Do you have child support? Those are normal. Have you worked another job before? That's normal. But when they're starting to get personally invasive and they start turning you away and asking questions that are uncomfortable or you think are intrusive, then maybe back up for a second and then maybe talk to your realtor, talk to another mortgage loan officer and ask for a second, am I getting fair treatment? Okay. And it may not be a bad idea, Violeta, it may be not such a bad idea to talk to one or two loan officers,
right?
One or two realtors and see how they approach you, how you feel. But I just know that you should be treated fairly. It should be like buying a car or buying shoes or buying vacation or, or buying a drink. It should be as naturally and flowing as everything else. But if you're given stops and hurdles to jump over that you think are unnecessary, that make you feel uncomfortable, and you're just getting the run around, then stop for a second and maybe direct yourself to another person's attention, to another loan officer, another realtor.
Yes, and as realtors, we have to go through a code of ethics class, make sure we're up to date on that. And if anything is off-putting to you, you just report that real estate agent to, the Department of Licensing and it'll be handled, or talk to their manager. But, do make sure you get the right person. And there should be and Tina's talked about this too, about changes in verbiage within the laws of real estate. And, they're changing all that. So there's no discriminatory verbiage in any of our paperwork.
Yes.
So,
and this is the thing, some people are not overtly biased.
Right.
It's secret. It's hidden. Okay. You want to make sure that everybody's upfront with you. You're getting the mortgage rate, you're getting the service, they're calling you in a timely fashion, and you're getting things done. I mean, if you're making $200,000 a year and they say, you're only approved for $300,000 and they don't give you the time of day, you need to move on. And this is not just for the LGBT community. It's for the Black community, the Asian community, the Hispanic community, the elderly, the millennials, just every community. If you feel like you're getting the shaft, maybe you are, maybe you aren't. But if you're not getting the customer service you need, move on. And so many times I see people in not only this community, but other communities, they have just been discriminated against so much that when bad behavior or bad business is given to them, they don't even notice it. Okay. But I'm just telling you right now, you should be given class act service. If for whatever reason you feel uncomfortable or you're giving the runaround, then stop for a second and maybe pull your business out and go somewhere else, because there's somebody there that will help you.
Okay.
Now, I sit in an office at Century 21. Juan Sanchez and David Walsh are actually the partners here at Century 21 here in Denver. And David is the president of the LGBTQ Alliance, Real Estate Alliance here in Colorado. And Juan is VP. And, they take care of everybody. They're advocates and they're just the most amazing people. But, so that's somebody I would recommend that, people go to who are actually within the community and they're doing amazing work. That's where you want to start. You want to see, is there an LGBTQ alliance there in Washington State?
I don't know, to tell you the truth.
Well, we'll find out if there is and we'll post
figure it out.
But that's a good place to start. Look for those filters and regional officers there.
And a good place for us to end
yes.
our show for today. So thank you all for joining us at Rainier Avenue Radio.world. And I'm Violeta Strash with John L. Scott.
And I'm Tina Lombard, Guaranteed Rate Affinity.
See you next Tuesday at 2:30. Bye, everyone.
You've been listening to Real Estate and Money with your hosts, Violeta Strash and Tina Lombard. For more information, call 206-717-4490. That's 206-717-4490. Go to the Rainier Avenue Radio.world website to find the Real Estate and Money schedule, or tune in to our live show every Tuesday afternoon from 2:30 to 3. We will help you find your dream home.